Assalamu alaikum ji, this is Rahim Ali Dhillon. I hope you all are doing good, and I believe that last session was very informative for you people that we have conducted specifically for the people of UAE. And today's session is about dead in shell. Dead in shell is one of those issues that we normally confront during the breeding season, and almost all of us, 90% of the people face that issue and get disturbed because of it. So in this video, I'll give a brief points and the major points that normally results in dead in shell. And during the session, you people can ask me a lot of questions. I'll clear rest of the questions there. And at the end of the session, I'll share the video with you people in which I mentioned the major points in detail. So one of the primary points because of that we normally face the issue of dead in shell is inbreeding. If we inbreed the related birds, then there is a chance that their bloodline gets weak and the embryo is developing in the egg is weak and results in dead in shell. Another very integral point that normally people don't take into consideration is that the ventilation. The poor ventilation also results in dead in shell. Basically, the egg is a living being. The embryo in the egg is breathing. It takes the fresh air inside and exhale the polluted air outside. So if your aviary is full with the polluted air, definitely the embryo is gonna die.
Now I want to share the basic structure, the basic anatomy of the egg, the membranes, how many membranes are present in the egg and what are the functionalities, and how does the inner structure of the egg actually look like, and another video for your understanding.
And take its first breath of fresh air. It's a dramatic moment, that first breath, one shared by so many creatures, including us. But hold on, think about this. When you were in the womb, you got oxygen from your mother through your umbilical cord. But for the last 21 days, this chick has been cut off from its mother, sealed inside an egg. Simplify an egg shell 1,000 times. You can see the calcium carbonate crystals that make up the shell, and here and there, tiny holes, 1/1000th of an inch across. And these tiny holes let outside air filter in. So oxygen can pass through the shell, but the chick growing inside doesn't have working lungs yet. When you hold the fertilized egg up in front of a bright light, you can see it, a delicate network of blood vessels that grows out of the embryo's abdomen and presses up against a membrane just inside the shell. Oxygen from the air comes in through the tiny holes in the shell and then diffuses into the embryo's blood, and the growing chick gets rid of carbon dioxide at the same time. That's because the whole time oxygen is coming in through the shell, moisture is slowly evaporating out. That creates an empty space that gradually fills with air. A day or so before the chick is ready to hatch, it starts to move. It punctures that air pocket and fills its lungs. It then has just enough oxygen to battle out of the egg and take its first breath of fresh air.
Another very important point is malnutrition. If your diet is not up to the mark, you are not offering them good multivitamins, calcium, and the fresh vegetables and hygienic diet, that also results in dead in shell. Moreover, if your bird age is not around 10 months or plus, then because of the developing age, if you put them in the breeding cage at like 6 to 7 months old birds, they normally don't breed well and result in dead in shell. When your first clutch is done, your chicks, your hatchlings are ready, they have left the box, and you don't change the box, you don't give them the fresh nesting and the box, because of the droppings and the moist, over moist droppings in the nest box results in the dead in shell, and the chick's gonna die. Breeders believe that humidity has a very integral and vital role in the hatching of the egg, but to be very honest, in my experience, yes, humidity is important, but in my experience, there are a lot of chicks hatch and has been hatching even in the lowest humidity level, below 20 level, and the optimum level of humidity that should be in your shed shall be around 50 to 60%. But you know, if the humidity declines on account of any reason, God gives them the sense that they can increase the humidity, and you must have noticed that a lot of hens dip themselves in the water pots, they make themselves wet, and they go and sit on the eggs that results in balancing the humidity level. So I don't give much points to the humidity, but yes, there is a role. Plus, you notice that when let's assume the hen lays 6 eggs, and first 4 eggs hatch, the rest of the 2 eggs sometimes gets dirty because of the droppings of the chicks present in the box, and that result in the layer, sort of a layer of their droppings on the egg. So to avoid that, you can have a cotton, dip in the lukewarm water, and just clean the eggs with that. So the chick in the egg can breathe easily. So that is also a very important part. So I believe that this session would help you a lot in learning about dead-end shell, and you can maximize your production. In order to achieve the optimum level of production, you have to consider these points. Prepare your questions, and I'll see you on the WhatsApp group during the session. Thank you.